Little motherfucker gonna try to rob me. Well, I'm gonna show you how we do it up here in Vegas. Look, I wasn't trying to rob. Shut up! Before I bust a cap up in you. Now who sent you?
So what's up? We standing tall in your short stuff.
Yes.
Our lunch is the bullshit that you dressed up. Address us on scholarship, homie, knowing you're messed up. So fessed up, you look for the best, knowing that that's us. So what's up? We standing tall in your short stuff.
Yes.
Our lunch is the bullshit that you dressed up. Address us on scholarship, homie, knowing you're messed up. So fessed up, you look for the best, knowing that that's us. Sword clown, know that it's over like it's the fourth down. We the source now. Hear a big bang with tanks on ground. More than a scrimmage, yeah, we forcing the sin, yeah, we pushing no limit. Leave the fight with no blemish. You the hometown, but you not receiving no privilege. We gon' do you bad, rape, rob, and pillage. But we nothing like the white man. I can see that you a big fan. Every time we go live, I see you in the damn stands. Watching and plotting, I see that you stalking a bit.
Yes.
You laughing at people that seeing you taking
Here's
a
the
bit.
definition of plagiarism. The practice of taking someone else's work and using it as
Crazy ass nigga, we the source, yeah, we cite source. Spitting hot flames more hotter than hot sauce. Drummy ass nigga. All right. Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. All praises to Amanawi Yahweh Shemashak Yahushua, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for another opportunity to go into the Most High's word, man. All praise and glory. So we have another powerful Torah portion that we're going to dive off into this week. Lot lengthier than it was last week, but these are some foundational understandings that we need to have. A lot of people come into this truth and they run straight to the meat, and they don't get this milk foundational understanding. Right now, if you ask someone, what's your biblical tribal origin, they wouldn't know what you were talking about, right? Like, which one of the sons of Noah do you and your ancestors come from, right? A lot of people don't have an answer for that, right? So what they like to do is they like to separate Europe, and they say that this is the land of Japhet. Originally, it was the land of Japhet. So-called Middle East. The reason I say so-called because that's modern terminology. Was given to Shem, and the land of so-called Africa was given to Ham. And we have a lot of scientific hypotheses, such as the out of Africa theory, that a lot of people hold to, meaning the oldest bones was found. One second, family. 1 second. The oldest bones were found in Africa. So therefore, they say Africa is the cradle of civilization. This is not true. There's controversy concerning the finding of Noah's ship, or Noah's Ark. The claim is that Noah's Ark was found in Turkey. I haven't seen any contrary arguments concerning that that's where Noah's ship landed. And they came out of the ship, and then they started to populate initially in the Levant. The land of Shem, dealing with Melchizedek, is Jerusalem. And I also hold the belief that that land is also the land was being governed also by Noah. The reason I came to this conclusion is because when Abraham was a child, Abraham traveled, was cast out of his father's house at a very young age. and he dwelt in a cave. And then ultimately he went to live with Noah and Shem, so they was living together. So when the sun started to spread, Japheth went to Europe, Ham went to Africa. Ultimately, this is where they ended up. But initially, they were all brought together by Nimrod under direct violations of the orders that was given from the Most High to spread forth on the earth. We're going to go into this in this week Torah portion. All right. I got my brother Karatazayah in the building. Karatazayah.
Yeah, shalom. Y'all brought come y'all Shem Shai. Hey, I just want to say peace and blessings to all the 12 tribes, those still working to keep forth the Most High's law, statutes, commandments, and his judgments, the prophecies and the gospel. All right. So thank you for everything. YirmeYah, once again, is a dynamic teacher, and I am outside from my just so cool demeanor. I'm actually, elated to be on the show with YirmeYah, the CEO, all praise the Most High. You're going to find out a lot of information. I know that YirmeYah is a very studious man, and he knows how to pull sources, the Source Debate League. He knows how to pull sources from different places. So if you hear, can everybody hear us okay on the conference call? All right. Shabbat shalom. Khan, throw out for that, sister. Okay, we got Ohio Swagger. All right, 86. Shabbat shalom to you. I think, Khan, throw out. I think right now the biggest thing for everybody is if you can, which you should be able to do, is to share. All right, it's to share out. All right, the Torah portion is vital. We all got our lessons and things that we talk about, but Moses taught us the Torah. All right, Masha taught us Lahatawara. Masha taught us the instructions, and he taught it to us regularly. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 31. All right, the Most High brought us together, and he taught us what was called not only the Song of Moses, but he also taught us the instructions in what's called hexameter. Hexameter. All right, the form or the phrase of hexameter. Imagine rapping every 4 bars the Torah. That's what hexameter is. 6 bars, 8 bars. Every hexa, every bars was the Torah. All right. So when Masha gave us the instructions, he gave us the instructions for life. I could get on Facebook and I could teach about any topic that you put me on. But when the Shabbat comes, it's better if we do like Christ did. And as his custom was, Hamashiach the Messiah kept the Sabbath day. All right. So looking at this event that we had, which we're just now finishing up the last Torah portion, which brought us out of Deuteronomy. And now we're back full circle, right? No pun. We're back full circle at Genesis. Okay. So with that being said, you haven't missed very much, but you've missed a lot. So last week's Torah portion brought us up to this place to where now we're in Genesis chapter 6. So last week's Torah portion, you would have read or seen or heard about the creation. All right. Now, I taught on a couple of different topics last week. So you would have learned about the creation. So this is an excellent time for anybody that's coming into the truth that wants to start over or that needs to start over, that needs to learn all new. This is an excellent time to, because we're in Genesis in the beginning. We're in the table of nations. All right. This isn't my class, so I'm going to put my hands down. All right. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatah, Wala Kagam, Thawada. Make sure y'all support Yah World 777, the Source Debate League. All right. The MYMG, the music. Make sure y'all support all of that. All right. YirmeYah, please say the Yah has been putting a very, very strong effort to make sure that this word goes out. Okay. So with that being said, I yield the floor. We're going to learn a lot today. We have Noah. We have Noah's sons, with the event, the drama that unfolds. We have the nations that came after Noah's sons. All right. And the majority of these people are still here today, but that's not it. My last point is that you can still find information on these nations today in certain antiquitous books, and it'll help you to continue in your walk. All right, so I'm going to yield the floor. All right, I don't want to be too long with it. Y'all brought coming up by Shemashah. YirmeYah for inviting us on, and I pray everybody have a good Shabbat. Let's get it. You have no sound, sir.
Salak. Yeah, man. So we're going to be going into genealogies. Like I said again, as children began to be born and populate the earth, variations of names, families, people groups begin to permeate through the earth. But in antiquity, they was always able to trace their lineage back to a particular progenitor. All right, a particular progenitor. And you have to be able to take this upon yourself to be able to do this for your family. We know the children of Israel are scattered to the four corners of the earth. So what we like to do is have a particular starting point. That starting point is usually slavery. Is a great point. So if you are a descendant of slaves, what kind of slavery and how was that slavery brought about, which would cause you to lose your ancestral records. So it's a good point to start at, and any and every person on planet Earth should always be able to research their genealogy. It's very important. All right. Karatazaya, sidebar real quick. Can you give me Deuteronomy chapter 30? Deuteronomy 30, 32 and 7. Baba Kasha, Karatazaya, if you're there.
Yes, I am. And I got caught slipping just now. I left the room so I could try to go get a lamp. I want to look nice and smooth like you. All right. So what are we getting out at? What are we pulling out?
Deuteronomy's 32 and 7.
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 32. All right, let's get to it. And I'm going to actually just turn my camera off and I yield the floor. Deuteronomy chapter 32. Deuteronomy chapter 32, KJV, Blue Letter Bible. All right, we're going to start at verse 7. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. And it reads, remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee.
That's right. So this is what we're doing. This is the importance of the Torah portion, to keep these things at the forefront of your mind and to keep you sharp. For some of you brothers and sisters that don't do this regularly, we are here to encourage you to go into the Bible and do these things regularly with your family and your children. Most importantly, we got to share this information to the next generation. So we're going to go back. We're starting at Genesis. We're starting at Genesis 6.
All right. Genesis chapter 6. Hallelujah.
Salakia.
And did you want to start at a specific verse?
Yeah, I believe we're starting at 9.
Genesis 6, KJV, Blue Letter Bible. I can hear you, Elder.
Yeah, I believe we're starting at verse 9, correct?
Genesis chapter 6 and verse 9. And it reads, these, excuse me, Y'all please give us inspiration and understanding of your word by Shema Shach Yahushua. So that your word go up. Genesis chapter 6, verse 9. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with Allah, God. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, Yafat, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupt his way upon earth. And Allah said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood, rooms shalt thou make it. The ark and pitch it within and without with pitch. Verse 15. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof. With lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. Verse 17.
I want
And
to
behold,
make this clear real quick, right? As we look at Genesis 6 and 14, make thee an ark. This was spiritually, right? Because I talk with the brothers regularly concerning the current existence that we live in, in comparison to the spiritual existence that we have. Spiritually, when you're looking at make thee an ark, this is an example of the great saving power that the Most High has and sincere love that he has for the continuation of his creation. He did not have to do this. So make thee an ark is tremendous, family. Right? It's tremendous. And I don't want it to escape your mind concerning the importance of those few words. Make thee an ark. Right? Is an example of the love that the Most High has for his creation. Where was we at? 17?
But Con, I believe so. 17. Yes, sir. 17. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 17. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. Verse 18. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee, and of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee.
So a lot of people have, if you notice here, a lot of people have seen the movie Noah with Russell Crowe, right? So a lot of people are under the understanding that these children of Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, were little kids when this happened. This couldn't be further from the truth, right? These men were of extreme age, and we're going to get their exact age in just a moment, right? So it's important that you change your view of this event from a cinematic perspective to a biblical perspective. So you go to your sons who are already grown men, and you tell them what they're going to do or what the Most High has plans on doing to the earth. And without question, grown men with families, right, or with wives, let me say, went into the ark without question. There's no time in your life to where your authority, as we quote unquote call ourselves adults, supersedes the authority of your parents concerning spiritual intuition, counsel, wisdom, right? You're supposed to hold a certain reverence for your parents. And this is extreme reverence because it took time for them to build this ark. And Noah didn't do it by himself. All right. He had grown men helping him. All right. So that's a very important point that we need to understand. Read on.
Come on, Con. So, but before we go forward, I have a question. Do you have any but just for the people and for me too, do we have any references that we can go to maybe after class to find some of the points?
To find,
I think it's so organic that the way that you're speaking is you're bringing out information. So you know, some of the questions, you know, we might have some of the statements that you make, we might have questions for. You know what I'm saying? So I know like you're gonna bring out the age of them, but like I said, I'll wait to class. I apologize, Salakli. I'll wait to end the class.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Chapter.
I'm saying,
Yes,
you know, I'm sure a lot of people that are watching are familiar with the movie Noah with Russell Crowe, right? A lot of times when these biblical movies come out, we know and we understand that it's not a sincere representation of what went on in the book, in the Bible. But people still leave those movies without understanding that these are critical parts because they're not familiar with the Torah, right? So we're going to get the age of these men because in the movie they were children, right? I think one was a teenager, one was a little bit younger than that, and the other one was a little bit younger than that. So they did differ in age, but these were grown men at this time, and we're going to prove it. All right.
Genesis chapter 6 and starting at verse. I'm going to start at verse 19, if that's okay. Genesis chapter 6, verse 19. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. Verse 21, and thou shalt, and take thou unto thee all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be food for thee and for them. And Noah did according to all that Elohim commanded him. So did he. All right. At the end of each Torah portion, we like to say what Moses taught us to say, which we learned from our elders, and we still say today, and we teach our children. We say, Kol Asherah, Debar Yahweh, Na Aisha, Wa Na Shammai. All that Yahweh has said will we do and hear. All right. All that Yahweh said we do and hear. Kol Asherah, Debar Yahweh, Na Aisha, Wa Na Shammai.
Come on, all praise and glory. Now we're going on to Genesis chapter 7, verse 1. Let me know if you can see it on the screen. Oh, I'm not speaking. Yeah. Let me know if you can see it on the screen. Are we good?
It can be seen on the screen. I can see it on the screen.
Come on. Genesis 7 and 1.
And Yahweh Amar, Waya Amar al Noach, come thou and all thy house into the ark. And the Lord said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark. For thee have I seen righteousness before me in this generation. Verse 2. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female, and the beast that are not clean by 2, the male and his female.
Now, this is a problem here, and this is really important information. Why is this important information? Because when I have these conversations with my Christian brothers, they like to tell me that the dietary law was just only for the children of Israel. Well, this is Noah, okay? And the children of Israel was not in existence at this time. So this is something that was carried on by the children of Israel as a continuation. What they want to do is they want to separate Abraham Isaac, and Jacob from everything that preceded them back to Noah. Well, there's a righteous seed line that carried the instructions of the Most High to their next generations. And if as you follow these lines, this is the chosen line, right, by the Most High. So they like to assert that Noah is a Gentile. They like to assert that Shem is a Gentile. Eber is a Gentile. Well, these men are actually a part of the chosen line leading up to Hamashiach Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. So dealing with the Torah concerning of every clean beast. So what is a clean beast?
Any animal that the Most High has given us permission to eat. Today we will call it kosher or kosher, which means it is acceptable to be consumed. It is acceptable to be touched and to be eaten. Any food that is of the Israelite community by the laws that were given to us by our God that is not clean or not lawful to be eaten will be called tama'ah. That's tama'ah. Starts with a T. M-A-H. Tama'ah. Ah. Tama'ah, unclean. Tahar, clean, acceptable. Tama'ah, unclean.
You see that? So when you're looking at how many animals, because we read in Genesis 6, it said 2 by 2. But here in Genesis 7, it's giving you more details concerning the clean animals. The clean animals has the righteous number of completion, which is 7.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's very important. So you're taking 7 clean and 2 by 2 unclean. Correct?
Correct.
That is dietary law at the time of Noah.
Yes, sir.
So for anybody that's telling you that the dietary laws for the children of Israel and the children of Israel only, that is untrue. The Most High, the Bible, is instructions, right? The great acronym that is given, basic instructions before leaving earth, right?
What? 3-Eye Atlas? What?
Right? Basic instructions before leaving earth. So these things are important, not for just the children of Israel, but for all mankind. It's important that you eat clean animals and not eat unclean animals for your health.
Right.
And people are suffering from diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, which causes your arteries to clog, which causes heart failure, heart disease, and heart attacks. If you were to just simply listen to what the Most High said and heed it to those instructions. But you are so far removed from the Bible, you must rather listen to Dr. Bob, okay? You rather listen to Dr. Bob instead of listening to God. See? So
Elder, I have a question. Mark chapter 7, verse 15. I'll ask this question after class. It says that nothing that we eat defiles us. It's not what goes into a man, it's what comes out of him. We know that this is Christian doctrine that's used to keep us bound, to keep us eating unclean meats. I was hoping you speak on that at the end of class. I get so caught up in the spirit and everything, I forget that, I'm on a short time frame, man. So I apologize. Please forgive me.
No. We could talk about that. It's a great and excellent point, because the misconception is this. There are certain things that's considered food, and the things that are unclean are not considered food. Right? So, unless you are okay with somebody putting dog on your plate and say, eat, it's dog, you're going to say, hey, this is not food. Right? It's not food. So, understanding what was being said at that time, it was actually about the washing of hands. It wasn't about the dietary law, but you want to run here to this scripture to try to substantiate eating shrimp, lobster, and pork because that's what you want to do, right? You're trying to go use this scripture to justify that, but they themselves knew there were certain things that was food and certain things that's not food. If somebody put a horse or a camel on your plate, you're not supposed to eat that. Why? That's not food.
Right.
It's not going to be listen, you're eating food for the benefit of eating food to energize your cells. So your body can perform when it's time to work. That's why you're eating certain nourishments so your body can perform. The Most High have set these standards and these parameters so we can live a long life. All right. So yeah, you said that was in Mark?
Yes. We have a couple of them. We have a couple of them. But I don't want to take up too much time because it's such a powerful point. Let me now. This is for our, if I could, this is for our Hebrew veganites. All right, because you might say, well, that's for y'all who eat meat. Well, I don't eat meat. I eat vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian. I eat corn, grain, rice, and all. I think all that's wonderful. It's better if we have a 80 to 90% herbivore diet. The Most High commanded us to eat lamb at least once a year. We don't have to eat things that He gave us for good. We don't have to eat them, but we have the option too. If one might come and say, well, hey, I'm a vegetarian or I'm a vegan, so I don't have to worry about that, so I'm eating clean food, I want to say shut that down too, because the Most High is so smart. He's so wonderful. He didn't give in his captivity. He didn't give away for one Israelite to be, I'm better than you or I'm higher than you because of my diet. Or even He didn't give us away for anybody to take the reins, right? Like you ride a horse and you take the reins and He didn't give none of us the reins to be able to say who was more balanced in their diet either. This is the book, real quick, of Leviticus chapter 19. Please document this for yourself. The book of Leviticus chapter 19, start at verse 23 and go to about 25. Leviticus chapter 19 gives us the law. Right now, we're in Genesis, and we're learning about eating the flesh that we were given permission to eat because of the dominion. But when you get to Leviticus chapter 19, we're looking at the dietary law of unclean vegetables. Now, you might not have heard that phrase because the Bible don't call it unclean. The Bible call them uncircumcised. But if they're uncircumcised vegetables, that means they're not fit to be eaten. The only reason we call them unclean is because of the phrase that we use, which is tama'ah. Tama'ah means unclean. And when you say tama'ah, you have to pronounce the H at the end. So it's tama'ah. Tama'ah. Yo, that's tama'ah. In Leviticus chapter 19, verse 20 and 23 through 25, we learn that foods that are 1 to 3 years old is forbidden food. But our vegan community, our vegetarian community Israelites, they either don't know this or they just don't mention it. So please don't let nobody feel that you're better or less. If you choose to eat the flesh that the Most High has given for us, because He's given us dominion, we just can't drink the blood of it, right? Or if they are vegetarian, because the scriptures talk about one that's stronger or that's weaker, right? But we'll leave that alone. Vegetables that are 1 to 3 years old is forbidden and it's considered uncircumcised. So when you go into the store and you're like, yeah, I'm a vegan, I'm a vegetarian, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and I'm doing best, and whoopie whoopie woo, but you're purchasing that 1-year-old lettuce to go in that 2-year-old carrots to go with that 3-year-old onions. And see, all of the vegetables that you're purchasing at the grocery store, they're mass produced. And it's not your fault. It's Esau's fault. It's our fault because Israel disobeyed. It's Esau's fault because they're raping the earth. And they're feeding us not only meat that isn't prepared correctly, they're feeding us vegetables, vegetations that Yahweh did not accept. It's not until the 4th year that all fruit is considered to be holy. 7 of each kind for the animals. 7 of each kind for the animals. But in the 4th year, all vegetables are now considered to be holy and to be offered in praise to Yahweh. So I just want you all to keep that in mind. 5th year onwards, the people can eat the fruit. So when the fruit is finally 5 years old, the tree is 5 years old, then you can eat from it. Don't eat when the tree plants the apple. I'm gonna yield the floor. It's my last point, YirmeYah, is just the tree point. All right. But when someone plants an apple seed, the apple tree comes up. The apple tree on its first harvest is going to drop down apples right at its feet. The tree is going to drop down apples at its own base. We're not supposed to pick up them crab apples, them apples that they're still hard and you taste it's bitter. It's like, how you can't even eat this. That second year, go through that winter. That second year, the apple is going to take all those nutrients of itself, is going to put it back into itself, and it's going to drop back down again. It's going to do that for 4 years. And about time you get to that 4th year in your garden, stop giving me, about time you get to that 4th year in your garden, okay? That fruit that is going to drop is finally going to be holy fruit. And a lot of us have never really had a holy orange, a holy kumquat, a holy watermelon, because we're getting seedless watermelons. We're getting seedless bananas. They're being molested. The ground is being molested. And then the fruit is being raped because it's being taken too soon. And then we're eating it. And it's called uncircumcised according to Yahweh. So the next time you get into a good vegan / meat eating debate with anybody, just go to Leviticus chapter 19. Start at verse 20. It's really 23. Start at verse 20. Go to about the verse 25. And that conversation right there, that understanding will help you to see that it's only through the grace of Yahweh Shai, the Most High, His only begotten Son. Because King David said, because of our disobedience, he said, let their table be made a snare unto them. So no, Mr. Hebrew veganite, if you're eating uncircumcised vegetables, you might as well be drinking the blood of the animal. And if somebody say, well, that's not the same. Yes, it is. Yahweh said it's not ready. If you don't believe me, read it for yourself. Leviticus chapter 19, start at verse 20. All right, finish off at verse 25. 1 to 3 years is forbidden. 4 years is ready to be offered up to the Most High in your harvest. And on the 5th year, everybody can eat it. All right. So just like there's unclean flesh, there's also unclean vegetation. All right. With that, I yield the floor to water.
God. All right.
Oh, you funny guy. Oh, you're a funny guy, man.
Yeah,
I love you.
You a funny guy. You a funny guy. Okay, let's make that clear. All right.
You're very witty. You're very creative.
Yeah. So, hey, brother Twin. Sister E is not here at the moment. But I'll pass the message. I'm putting it on the screen now, so if she come across this later, I'm sure she'll be able to get back in contact with you, brother. All right. So, powerful information, Kradazaya. All praise and glory. Let's get back to it. Yes, I wanted to make the point about the two 7 clean, 2 unclean. All right. Give me the Hebrew on that again, Kradazaya.
Tama'ah, unclean, and tahar for clean.
Tahar. Okay. Shout out to Elder Tahar, man. Okay.
Shout out to Elder Tahar. We love you, man. Love you, boy.
All right.
Yeah, mess in the building.
All right. So what we had, Genesis 7:3. Let's go.
Yes, sir. All right. Tahar, Tama'ah. All right. So Genesis chapter 7, verse 3. Of the fowls also of the air by sevens, the male and the female, to keep the seed alive upon the earth. Keep the seed alive upon the face of all the earth. Verse 4. For yet 7 days I will cause it to rain upon the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy from the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that Yahweh commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters was upon the earth. And Noah.
Hold on. How old was he?
And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters was upon the earth.
600 years old. All right, keep that in mind, family. That's important. Read on.
And Noah went in, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him into the ark because of the waters of the flood, of the clean beast, and of the beasts that are not clean, and of fowls, and of everything that creepeth upon the earth. Verse 9. There went in 2 and 2 unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as Yahweh had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood.
Hold on, brother. That's a contradiction, brother. That's a contradiction. One verse says by 7, and another one says 2 by 2. The 2 by 2 family. I don't know if I can be heard clearly. Right? The 2 by 2 family is denoting male female. That's just it. Male female. Very simple. Right? It's not a contradiction. Right? People be killing me with this madness. Oh, it's contradictions in the Bible. It says right here 7, and then the other one says 2 by 2. Well, which one is it, brother?
Ridiculous.
Like, come on, man. Like, common sense ain't that common, clearly. All right. So the 2 by 2 is signifying male, female. But then the Bible tells you specifically about the separation between how many was brought on the ship. More clean was brought on. Why? Why was more clean brought on? These people got to eat while they're on this ship, right? So I just wanted to bring that out. Anything you want to say on that?
No, that was excellent. That was excellent. You know, not only did after the flood we need to eat, the Most High gave us permission to eat flesh. Noah gave a sacrifice. So not only, and even if you see that in the Torah, even when we go into the land, the Most High tells us to not overtake the beast, so that we don't kill all the beasts and overtake them. All right. So verse 2, specifically chapter 7, and please everybody, how YirmeYah brought it out is how it is. The 2 by 2 only denotes the male and the female. There is no contradiction in the Bible. If anything, there's a contradiction in your understanding of the Bible. All right. There's a contradiction in our comprehension of the Bible, especially us with our new baby brains trying to process things in a language that it wasn't written in. All right. So there's no contradictions in the Bible that we have been able to find that are so extensive that it changes the depth of the message. You're going to find some errors. There's
and a lot of those errors are translation errors, right? A lot of the errors that they're finding in the Bible are translation errors by the translators, and the translators ask for mercy concerning this, not to hold it against them, because it was tremendous labor that went in to translate the Bible. So I just wanted to bring that out.
No, thank you for that. Thank you for that. And yes, and it's not so far away that the translators asked up for that mercy from us. All right, you can find one place in the book of Ecclesiasticus for the same things uttered in the Hebrew and spoken to another tongue have not the same force in them. You find the same thing in Second Maccabees. All right, where it was much work put into abridging this. All right. So, even Eusebius, Ecclesiastical Histories, even when he's doing his accurate Hebrew historical writings, he says, I'm the first one who came upon this. He said, Josephus did it like this, but I'm doing it like this. So he asks, be patient with me. So we have a record of being accurate in our writings. If something's being translated from one language to another, you're going to find some type of errors. But when it comes to this right here, you ain't going to find none. You're not going to find an error in this right here. Deuteronomy, Genesis chapter 7, verse 2. It says, of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens. That doesn't change. That doesn't change at all. And the unclean right here, the male and his female. So by sevens, the male and his female of the clean. And of the beasts that are not clean, just take them by twos. Just bring them in by twos, right? Those clean, those unclean animals, those tama'ah, unclean, don't touch. Those shalom, peace and blessings, Shabbat shalom to whoever just came in. If you're in, you're enjoying yourself, you have YirmeYah, please say YirmeYah World 777. Share out the link to the audio and share out the link to the YirmeYah World 777 so that others may see, hear, and participate and enjoy this safe place for the Shabbat reading. So thank you for joining. So those unclean
E's platform too, Sister E's channel, Sister E platform on YouTube. All praise and glory.
Amen. All praise and glory. And salute to you, Aqua. So we would not use a vacuum cleaner to feed our children with. You don't use a garbage disposer and put a spoon down in the garbage disposer and take that spoon and put it in the mouth of your child, right? So we'll continue because we're going to see, as we read on, we're going to see where the Most High gave us permission and provision to eat the sevens that came in only by male and female, which is 2. So thank you, YirmeYah. No contradiction there, Saint.
All praise the Lord.
No, thank you, because I didn't know that people were using that as a point. And once I heard you say that, I said, really? All right. Where are we picking up at?
I think we're at verse 9.
Verse 9. So we'll go to Genesis chapter 7, verse 9. Thank you for everyone that's listening. Please, if you are listening, you're enjoying yourself, take a moment. All right. Just like you have to pass gas throughout the day, you can just take a break, and no pun intended, take a break. Share this out so other people can hear the Torah portion, so they can be involved with Sister E's page, involved with the Source Bailey's page, YirmeYah's page, involved with the Torah portion, listening in a safe place. All right. So take a second, just turn to your phone. Say neighbor. No, I'm just playing. Turn to your phone and just go down your share list. All right, share this out. We'll be rocking out. All right.
Good.
Thank you, everybody. All right, Genesis chapter 7, and we are in verse 9.
Good.
Genesis 7, 9. All right. There went in 2 and 2 unto Noah, into the ark, the male and the females, as Allah Hayam, God, had commanded Noah. Verse 10. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were upon the earth. 11. And in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, in the 17th day of the month, the same day, were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and all the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. In the self same day entered Noah, Sham, Wa Ham, Wa Yafat, the sons of Noah, Wa Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark. And Salakla, verse 14. That they and every beast, there we go, they and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after their kind, and every fowl after his kind, every bird of every sort.
Man, this had to be a tremendous undertaking.
Brother, I'm talking about, you mean every creeping thing? Listen, first of all, I won't go too far. The Most High has monsters that we have never seen. So if you think it was just pigeons, raccoons, and listen, there's monsters that's in the wilderness, that's in the skies, that Noah was looking at like, interesting. All right. I have a vivid imagination. This wasn't a small ordeal. It's a big deal. Down to the roaches, to the creatures that we haven't even seen. All right. So I yield the floor. Can I go ahead?
Damn, man. You said Noah had roaches, man? Is that what you telling us?
Yeah, man. It said the creeping things. Yeah, man. Roaches, fleas, ticks, centipedes. You know what I'm saying? You know. I don't think, and that's a good question. See, I don't think that the insects would have been able to survive the floods. I don't think the insects would have been able to survive the flood. That's a good one, man. I never thought about that. All right. Noah had roaches, man. That's a good one. Verse 18. And the waters prevailed and were increased greatly upon the earth, and the ark went up upon the face of the waters. Verse 19, and the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle, and of beast, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man. Verse 22, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, and all that was in the dry land died, and every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle and creeping things and the fowls of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth, and Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in his ark. And the waters prevailed upon Ha'aratzah, the earth, and 150 days. Kala Shara, Debar Yahweh, Na'aisha, Wana Shemai. All that the Lord has said will we do and hear.
Khan.
Chapter 8. I yield.
Yes, very informative. It's imperative that we pull these things out and bring them into real-time scenarios so we can comprehend better. This is the purpose of the orator, to help crystallize some of these points that may be looked over. We are in Genesis 8:1 now.
Genesis 8:1. Wayah zakar Noah, and Yahweh remembered Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And Elohim made a wind pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. And the ark rested upon the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat.
Ararat. So I opened up this Torah portion speaking about Ararat, and it's claimed that Ararat is in eastern Turkey. All right. There are other claims that I'm not as familiar with, but they have found some remains. Can you pull up those remains, or you want me to do it?
Yeah, I definitely don't mind, Saint. I definitely don't mind. I just want to be in sync with you, King. Definitely don't mind.
Okay, Bubba Kasha.
All right. Now I don't know what our beloved elder would like first. So just let me know, and then I'll follow your lead. I don't want to go, far away.
Yeah, no, we can look at Noah Ark remains found.
Okay. Well, we have some images pulled up. All right.
You can share your screen. I'll put it up there.
Sure can, sure will. Thank you, beloved Saint. Screen share, and I'm going to do entire screen. All right. Okay, so if everybody can see my page, all right, I'm going to go to this specific site right here. And the reason being is because we want to show y'all, we want to show y'all the details. All right. Now, dang, I'm thinking I'm on a touchscreen laptop. I done touched my TV screen trying to make it zoom in. I'm going off. All right. If you look at this top picture, what we see right here, this is the real history. Now, I am a proponent that what we're looking at is Noah's Ark. All right. And the reason why I'm a proponent of it is because not only what I've read, starting with the Bible, but what I've read with one of my favorite historians is Flavius Josephus, the Levite, the Israelite. He's one of my favorite historians. So not only him, but other antiquities, because they really should be called antiquities instead of histories. It's like Josephus says that the Gentiles had history. He says we have antiquities. All right. Because our knowledge is more ancient, antiquities. He calls our history antiquities, and he calls theirs history. So when we're looking at our antiquities, you have multiple, and I hope the screen share can still be seen. You have multiple writers, including one of my favorites, Flavius Josephus. My second, Isidore of Seville. My third, Eusebius. All right. These are my three favorite top historian Israelite antiquities writers. And all of them say the same things, that in the mountains of Mount Ararat in Turkey, one of the oldest locations, also where Jesus Christ's mother was born, the Apostle Paul was born in Turkey. All right. Turkey is powerful. Turkey is very, very spiritual, very biblical. One of the highest places of mountain ranges in the world is in Turkey. So if you're looking at a flood, whether the flood is local or whether the flood is global, let each man speak on their own understanding to that point. What I'm saying, what YirmeYah also has presented for us already, is that there's a very high mountainous region that's already documented, that's already in the world, where pieces of what's called bitumen. Bitumen is like when you get a piece of wood or a toothpick and you chew the toothpick and something break off. Well, you still got the whole toothpick, but that little piece you spit out, that's called bitumen. So there's people that live in this location right now in the mountains of Mount Ararat, Turkey. The reason why I wanted to pull this up is because the government of Turkey did this. Me and YirmeYah didn't do this. There was a huge earthquake, and then after the earthquake, there was a large landmass sliding of a boat. And you can still see the grooves. This isn't CGI. We didn't make this up. There was a large landmass slide after the earthquake in Ararat in Turkey. The boat slid from the top of a mountain. This is only how it was doing. There was a pilot during the time frame, I believe World War II. I'll have to double check that. If I'm wrong, then please forgive me, I'm wrong on that point. But there was a pilot. I don't know which era of the war he was in. He's flying over the mountains in Turkey because it was actually illegal to fly over these mountains because the Turkish government knew what it was. And see, here's something else. My last key points on this. Mount Ararat's anomaly. CIA. Here's the catchphrase. The government will not tell you, we know where Noah's Ark is. They're not going to say that. What the government is going to do is they're going to use their phrases. See, an anomaly is just something that's out of place. It's weird. It's strange. YirmeYah has a huge head. It's like really big, and he barely fits on screen. His head is an anomaly. His head is an anomaly, right? It's for holding all that wisdom, all that information, right? That's how he knows so much. So my head is normal. YirmeYah has an anomaly-sized head. Well, imagine if you were an airplane pilot and you were flying over this mountain range. You was like, God, that's a big head dude. I can see his head size from all the way up here. That's an anomaly. That's how it was with Noah's Ark. This man was flying over a mountain range and seeing what was the shape of a boat. 3 stories encapsulated in ice. It's really hard to put a 3-story boat on top of ice in a very old mountain. You got to be a god to do that. Just like you got to be a god to burn the top of a mountain, right? Just like Mount Sinai to this day has a burnt blackened top because Yahweh put fire on one and then he put a boat in ice on top of another. He burned the top of one. And if you go to Mount Sinai today, you crack those rocks open. Those rocks are brown on the inside, but they black on the outside. You go to Mount Ararat, Turkey, which praise Yahweh, I had the privilege of being 20 miles or something like that, 20 minutes, 20 miles, one of it was 20 something. I'm looking at the map and I'm telling the bus driver, I'm like, go that way. I want to go that way. But we just kept going. I'm looking at the road like, I should jump off this bus right now. Have the American embassy to come and pick me up. I'm an American. And I got kicked off the bus and then I'm going to walk to Noah's Ark. The reality of it is this right here. The government called it the Mount Ararat anomaly. Okay. And you can look up the CIA. Here's another website, Ark Encounter. Okay. You can put in the CIA. Now, if you don't believe me, you don't like me, I don't got nothing to do with that. So what? Here's the thing, CIA.gov, Noah's Ark and Mount Ararat. CIA has imagery of Noah's Ark and Mount Ararat, right? Look at this. Here's the actual document, just like you can find the document of other things, right? This is the actual document of the Mount Ararat anomaly.
That's
So
powerful,
instead of saying Noah's Ark, that's what they called it, the Mount Ararat anomaly. Here's another point. You see what this is right here? This is called a drove stone. If you can see my screen, this is called a drove stone. You know what a drove stone is? A drove stone is an anchor. If you was in a boat and you couldn't slow the boat down, you got to drop what's called drove stones. These things right now are in Turkey, in the same place as Noah's Ark, and they're big as all get out. Holes, machine cut through the top to attach to the boat so it would drag the boat and hold it in place. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. My God is an awesome God. He put a boat on a mountain.
Right.
The Egyptian army, he drowned them. He opened up a rock and gave the children of Israel a fountain. So he proved himself. He proves himself. We're not talking to you to try to compel you and beg you to believe what we know. We're trying to show you so you can save your own soul. Because it's been proven to us. Yahweh left markers. All right. So my last point, and I yield the floor on this. I'm an advocate for teaching our people about Noah's Ark, because if God said, you know, taste and see that I'm good, okay, and then after that he leaves proof of himself, you might want to go and look at the proof. All right. So I know that we did. I know that I did. I know YirmeYah has, you know, and I know that other Israelites know. We're still debating and going over and studying and stuff, but the evidence and the information is all here. All right. If you want to learn more about Moses, you need to learn about Armenia. You need to learn about Turkey. If you want to learn more about Moses, you need to learn about the land, the Haran. You need to learn about these things. You need to learn about and I yield the floor. This is my last point. Trismos Megistus, Zoroaster, Moses. All of these were actual, real, historical people. Trismos Megistus, also known as Thoth, Thoth. His name was Trismos Megistus. All right. Hermes, Moses. These were all real men. These were real people who lived in ancient times. So we hold fast to Moses because he's our great lawgiver. All right. We also have to know this. In these locations where these people were named off, they also documented what was called the Great Deluge, the Great Flood. Okay. So I yield the floor. The proof is overwhelming on the flood of Yahweh, and I would like to encourage you all to come and worship my God. His name is Yahweh. His only begotten son is Yahweh Shai, and he made the mighty angels, heavens and earth, and everything therein. All right, and then left proof for himself. So I want to encourage you all to come and worship our Allahiyah. All right, before it be too late, because this next flood ain't gonna be water. This next flood is gonna be fire. All right. So he's already proved himself.
Can you speak about this stone that's on the screen? Because I use that stone in this flyer.
Okay. Well, how about I let you speak on the stone and the screen? All right. I'm gonna yield the floor. And the only reason I said that is because
I'm saying it should be some there that we can read real quick.
It should be some what again?
Writings.
Stone. Which one would you like to look up?
That we can read them. You can click on any one of those stones. It's all the same stone.
I don't know if this is going to take us to it. I apologize. I'm unfamiliar with that, but I'll see if we can. You want to use the book, or do you want to use one of these links? It looks like they're all taking us to Facebook.
Yeah, we'll drop that. We'll drop that. Let's get back to Torah.
Okay, trying to find a different one. But I love this antiquities for those that can see this, man. I love these antiquities because all of this stuff matters, man. But I yield the floor, and I'm going to hold on to that just for later time, and come back to Josephus. All right. So where we at? What we reading, sir? Shalom. YirmeYah.
Yes, sir.
All right. What are we picking up?
We're in Genesis 8 and 5, I believe.
Okay. The water. Genesis 8 and 5. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. And the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark, which he made, and sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Verse 8. He also sent a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot. She returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her into the ark. I think the strategy of this is amazing. Like, you see homing pigeons, etc., stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just to know that, you send a dove out there. If it's muddy, if it's still wet, we got to go down to verse 10. If it's muddy, if it's still wet, then that dove is not going to land. You feel me? If it's too wet, and doves, they don't really fly at the highest altitudes either. So doves, if it go low, boom, a raven's going to fly high altitudes. Ravens are smart. All right. Doves are smart too, but doves are more like submissive. Ravens, they like got memories and attitudes. Like a raven, a murder of crows, ravens will remember that you messed with them and come back and pluck at you. You know what I'm saying? Doves, they'll just be like, eat me. Like, I don't want no problem. But the raven, that mother take off. The dove, if the altitude isn't too high, the dove will find a place to rest at. But if it can't find a place to rest, just like a pigeon, it's gonna come back home, right? So yeah, so beautiful strategy. All right, verse 10. And he stayed yet another 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came unto him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth it was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him anymore. Doesn't that make sense? 7 days, you wait, still wet. Let's try one more week, one more Sabbath. Sent that dove out that next time frame, that next Sabbath. No need for it to come back. Me not coming back lets Noah know that everything is okay. That dove not coming back was a thumbs up. And Noah, he was like, good looking. I see you right somewhere safe. Now it's okay for us to come out. Verse 11, excuse me. And the dove came in unto the evening, and lo, in her mouth there was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated off of the earth. Verse 12. And he stayed yet another 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not unto him anymore. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, in the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off of the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. Wait a minute, this is beautiful.
Right.
This is beautiful. I'm just supposed to read. Go ahead, brother.
No. You got it up.
No. Because I need to read and get done before these girls wake up. If I start teaching, it's going to be over. We do classes for 4 hours here, Mike. You a 5-hour man, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
sir.
I got to keep it short, man. But goodness gracious, this is beautiful, Saint. All right.
Right. So this is alluding to also when the children of Israel were led out of Egypt by Moses. The Bible says that they walked on what?
Dry ground.
So this is all about deliverance, the miraculous power of the Most High, seeing that the earth was flooded, and now they are having the opportunity to see their deliverance. Verse 14.
14. And in the second month, on the 7th and 20th day, 7th to 20th day of the month, 27th day of the month, the earth was dry, and Elohim wa Allah spake al Noach, and God spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth out of the ark, thou and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee, and bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful and multiply upon the earth. Wa Noah halach, and Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, every beast, every creeping thing, every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth after their kinds went forth out of the ark. And Noah, builded an altar unto Yahweh, and took of every clean beast and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And Yahweh smelled a sweet savor, and Yahweh said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth, neither will I again smite any more every living thing as I have done.
That's right. So this is important, because every man, what does it say here? It says, for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil. So you know how Negroes be saying, God knows my heart. Yeah, he knows your heart. Evil and wicked as hell.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Your desires is what it's talking about, which is alluding to your flesh. Your fleshly desires are evil and wicked, right? But your flesh is supposed to be governed. But you Negroes don't want to be governed, do you? You don't want to be told to put down the shrimp, lobster, and pork. You know? What goes into a man's mouth, brother, and what comes out don't defile him, brother. Pass the pork chop and hot sauce. Right? See, this is the problem with Negroes, man. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. But if that man's heart is governed by these laws, statutes, and commandments, which you do not want to keep. Negroes running around talking about, all we got to do is keep the 10 commandments. Well, you don't do that. You only keep 9. Okay? Because of the traditions of man, which you love more than the traditions of the Elohim. Right? Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done. And what is that? Through water. I want to make that clear. So if you think this is a contradiction, I again smite any more every living thing as I have done. So the fact that he's coming back with fire that's going to rain down upon you heathen, okay? This fire that's going to rain down upon you heathen is not water. So this right here is not a contradiction. This is truth. This is why you get the rainbow. And we know what they have done. Right? This was the Most High's covenant. And let me tell you something, man. The rainbow is one of the most beautiful things you could ever imagine, bro.
Oh, man. It's just awe-inspiring, man. The rainbow will stop you in your tracks while you drive. It's oh, man. I'm with you, Saint.
Yeah. Unbelievable, the Most High, and what he's able to do when you actually observe his creation. Right? So we're about to get into that. Genesis 8:22. Let's go.
Book of Genesis, chapter 8 and verse 22. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. Kala Shara, Debar Yahweh, Na'isha, Wana Shemai, all they how it said, what we do and hear.
All praise and glory. And
Genesis,
we're going to Genesis 9 now. It's very important, very interesting in Genesis 9, which holds various doctrines that's coming out of Genesis 9, bro. Various understandings is coming out of Genesis 9. Okay. And we're going to stay true to the text. I'm not here to battle any of you Negroes and your doctrines, okay? So we're going to go into the information. Genesis 9 and 1.
Genesis chapter 9, verse 1.
I'll read
God bless Noah.
I'll read chapter 9. And Yahweh blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and what? Replenish the earth. Now, this is very important, this replenishing of the earth, because the earth needs cultivation, right? Lands need to be cut, trees need to be cut down, bushes need to be plowed. The earth, so that we can reproduce itself, needs to be cultivated. Verse 2. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth. This is what gives the superiority of man over beast. It magnifies the importance of mankind. While y'all sit there and sent Michael Vick 3 years in his prime to prison for fighting dogs. Like those dogs' lives are just as important as Michael Vick. Stop the madness. Okay? Stop the madness, man. Animals don't even live as long as we do. We do have some animals that live a long time, but they are not making the type of impact that we are making as mankind in the Most High's creation. The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl upon the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fish of the sea. Unto your hands are they delivered. Verse 3. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things. Now, here we go. Doctrine. Karat Zayah. We have a contradiction. Every moving thing, every moving thing that liveth, right, shall be meat for you. Brother, right there, see, we can eat strip, lobster, and pork. Contradiction.
Absolutely not, sir.
The Bible reads in a way, family, the same way that you live. If you tell your child to go bring you something to drink, you do not expect them to bring you toilet water. Okay? That's not for consumption. Listen to what I'm saying. If you tell your child to bring you something to drink and they bring you toilet water, you're going to be highly upset. First thing you're going to say is, this is not for consumption. This is not to drink. It is what? It is what, Karat Zayah? Toilet water is unclean. See?
Toilet water is super, super it's super unclean. I was laughing. My baby was learning how to potty train herself. And she got her garment in the back of the toilet. You know what I'm saying? She's only 2. But her dress got in the back of the toilet. And man, she flipped out and got that thing off her so quick. I was like, ew, unclean. Ew, unclean. Ew. Yeah, God. Super unclean.
So as you would tell your child, toilet water is unclean. This is the same response that you should have when you say, do you have anything to eat? And someone puts shrimp, lobster, and pork on your plate. You should have the same response. This is unclean. So as the Bible has already stated, 7 clean, 2 unclean. So the Bible already established clean and unclean, but you don't have in the Bible these things outlined as you have them in Leviticus. So since you don't have these things outlined in Leviticus, like in Genesis, they wasn't dealing with that. Well, that's nonsense. When it says, every moving thing that liveth shall be for meat, it's talking about the things that are clean. It's not talking about every single thing that moves or every single thing that liveth. It's talking about the things that are clean. Even as the green herb have I given you all things. That's another doctrine, right? Green herb, brother, green herb. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. See that? So how do you like your steak, Negro? Oh, I like it a little medium well, it's like the juice in it,
Is that when it's got the little bit of red blood coming out of it?
Yeah.
Abominable.
Right.
So any of you Israelites that's still eating steak with a little bit of blood in it, you are in direct violation of the Most High's dietary law. Okay. Genesis chapter 9. Would you mind breaking that down real quick again for us, Elder? Verse, 4 and 5? But I'll read it if you don't mind breaking it down. Verse 4 and 5, I'll read it. It says, but the flesh with, not the flesh alone. It says, but the flesh with the life thereof. That's the subject matter. Okay. What is the life thereof of flesh? Which is the blood thereof. Shall ye not eat? And as YirmeYah was breaking this down just a moment ago, I just kept hearing that ringing in my head. So that's different. The flesh we can eat, but the blood thereof. And then you might have one that say, yeah, but you can't drain all that blood out. Well, this is what fire does. Fire purifies.
Right.
Just like man, just like gold, just like silver. Fire purifies. So the fire burns out any impurities. There's no way around it. Anyone that wants to give an excuse on it, they may. But this is what the Most High said. The flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. And in verse 5, and surely your blood of your lives will I require. At the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man. At every hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. So this line has been used as a line. This verse has been used as a line to people who might have been on lines on the subject of saying, see, you can't even kill an animal. You got to love animals.
Right.
You can't kill. Yeah, I've heard it, and I thought it was ridiculous. Negro told me Jesus Christ came to save the animals from mankind. I said, nigga, you said Jesus came to die for the sins of animals? And that was his stance. Because of Genesis chapter 9, because Israelites have been polluted or taught wrong, that the Lord was sent to come and save animals from being eaten. That is ridiculous. Animals are beasts of burdens. The Most High said, surely your blood, as surely and surely your blood and your lives will I require at the hand of every beast will I require it. So animals are not allowed to go feral and wildly kill us, not unless the Most High sicks us on them. Like he sicks bears, he sicks lions, on disrespectful children, you know what I'm saying? On disrespectful prophets. But they don't have, if dogs have permission to eat us alive, they would. Dogs have very powerful teeth. My dog YirmeYah, very powerful teeth, very, very powerful paws. And I look at him and I'm like, thank you, YirmeYah, for not decimating us in our sleep. Thank you, YirmeYah, just for not jumping on us and clawing us to death and chewing our intestines out. Because I really could stop you. I mean, I could, but it would be a challenge. The Most High put a parameter there of peace. And here goes something else. I'm going to yield the floor on this topic. When it comes to the time frame before the flood, there were a lot of magnificent things that was going on. Like, one, people may not believe it, but the whole world spoke one language. If the whole world spoke one language, this does not leave out the facts that animals are a part of that world. Some people might not stand with that. Some people might not believe that. But the whole world before the Tower of Babel, which we're leading up to, spoke Hebrew. So it would have been absolutely nothing to have great shalom, fam. Good info on here, man. Hallelujah, shalom, Hundo, man. Good ministry from you, man. Man, good ministry from you, man. Salute to you, Hundo, man. I'll be watching from the sidelines. I really can't be as active as I would like to a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? Just because my hands are kind of, restricted. But I do get to watch and I do get to see, man. So I wanted to salute you, man. All right. Yeah, bro. Okay, so much. All right, salute you, man. All right, so I'm going to yield the floor on that topic because I wanted to go in, but I'm going to pause it. I do have something. Whenever you're done, or when we finish reading YirmeYah, I have Josephus on the account of the flood, a few PowerPoints.
You got it, bro. I got it on screen. For you.
Well, amen. All right. So I like reading. I love reading. All right. So we're going to start. This is where we are right now. This is Flavius Josephus. We're in book number 2. Again, if you don't like me, that's cool, I guess. But Flavius Josephus didn't do nothing wrong to you. So if you are interested in wisdom, but you don't like me, maybe you'll just hear wisdom coming from somebody else, and I'll say it. So watch this. I will therefore.
Hey, see if you can blow off the screen a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, sure will. 2.5. Is that better?
Yes, sir.
I will therefore only endeavor to give an account of those that proceeded from Seth. Now, we've scooted down, okay? We've started in line number 11, so there's plenty of more information up here, okay? So don't think we're skipping anything. The name of the chapter is called Concerning the Posterity of Adam, the 10 generations from him to the deluge, to the great flood. So we're coming to the end of this so we can talk about the flood. A couple key points I want to read out here. Now, therefore, I will therefore only endeavor to give an account of those that proceeded from Seth. Now, this Seth, when he was brought up and came to those years which he could discern what was good, became a virtuous man, and he was himself an excellent character. Also, did he leave children behind him who inhabited his virtue. All these proved to be of a good disposition. They also inhabited the same country without dissensions and in a happy condition, without any misfortunes falling upon them till they died. They also were inventors of that peculiar sort of wisdom. Now, I love this. And I had to stop and read this because I've been called so many different funny names in Israel, man. I just love Israelites even more. First of all, let me say this. Our fathers are the original astronomers. If you didn't make it in your lifetime to be the doctor that you wanted to be, then be a doctor in Yasharallah. Maybe you wanted to be an astronaut. Well, I can't make it to the moon right now. I got felonies. But I can study what my forefathers said and what the current astronauts say, and then maybe come up with a conclusion that helps to validate my faith walk, even helping me to be able to understand the shape of the moon, because we read it from antiquities. So if my point of saying such is to say, It's not too late to become a virtuous man or a virtuous woman. Go back in antiquities. You might find something that you like. When I found out that Abraham was an astronomer, it blew my mind. When I found out that not only was Abraham an astronomer, he taught the Egyptians astronomy. He taught the Israelites. He taught Daniel. He taught everybody. Abraham taught everybody. And that's only the tip of the iceberg of what I really want to talk about. And so I got this wild, wiry look in my eyes because I really want to go into Thoth. The conversation between Abraham and Thoth is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And Israelites don't talk about it enough. All right. But let's not for right now. Wasn't that a contradiction? It's like to talk about it enough. Let's not. All right. They also ventures of that peculiar sort of wisdom. Now let's look and see what this peculiar sort of wisdom is. Peculiar sort of wisdom, which is concerned with the heavenly bodies and their order. You mean before NASA? Also, for those of you watching, the word NASA does not mean deceive. All right. I read Paleo Hebrew, modern Hebrew. I know how to discern the two. The word NASA does not mean deceive in Hebrew. All right. So before NASA was the Syrians, was the Chaldeans, was the children of Seth. But watch. And they're peculiar, and that their inventions may not be lost. All right, let's go back. They were also the inventors of that peculiar sort of wisdom, which is concerned with the heavenly bodies and their order. Yeah, and that their inventions might not be lost before they were significantly known upon Adam's prediction that the world would be destroyed at one time by the force of fire, and at another time by the violence and quantity of water. Do you see how Uncle Joe did it? He didn't put water first. Christ is coming next.
Uncle Joe.
Oh, yeah. Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe, that's my guy. Uncle Joe be going down for me. He be sitting on the steps every now and then. He give me a beer when my mama ain't looking. Uncle Joe, that's the homie. You know what I'm saying? But he always drop a jewel.
All right, someone asked, what book are you reading?
Right now, we're reading from Flavius Josephus. We're reading from Antiquities of the Jews. We're in book number 2, and we're in paragraph number 11 and 12. We're going to scroll up so everybody that's watching online, they'll be able to see. We're in chapter 2. It says, concerning the posterity of Adam and the 10 generations from him to the deluge.
I don't know if y'all can see.
So he gives three subjects in one chapter. Here. The children of Adam, the generations, and the great flood. All right. So reading down, it says, and that their inventions may not be lost, that they were until they were lost before they were sufficiently known. And upon Adam's prediction that the world will be destroyed at one time by the force of fire and at another time by the violence and quantity of water, they made 2 pillars. Who? The children of Seth in the time frame of antiquities. And they made 2 pillars. The one of brick and the other of stone. They inscribed their discoveries on them both, that in case the pillar of brick should be destroyed by the flood, the pillar of stone might remain and exhibit those discoveries to mankind, and also inform them that there was another pillar of brick erected by them. Now this remains in the land of Syriad to this day. Now the posterity of Seth continue to esteem God as the Lord of the universe and to have an entire regard of virtue for 7 generations. Now listen, y'all, this is going to be important. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Why is this important? Because when we get back to the Torah portion, which I'm grateful the elder gave me the floor just for this moment. When we get into the Torah portion, we're going to read what's called the Table of Nations. Right now, we're in Genesis chapter 9. All right. So in Genesis chapter 9, we're going to go from Genesis chapter 9, we're going to go to Genesis chapter 10. When you get to Genesis chapter 10, that's what you want to start. You want to document all this. But when you all get to Genesis chapter 10, write in your Bible, write on your notebook. All right. Write it on your forehead. Write it on your heart. I don't care where you write it. Just write it down. Genesis chapter 10 is called the Table of Nations. Now, if you already know that, cool. Let me give you a level up. since you smart guys and you smart women of Israel, all right, I should say intelligent because smart is intelligent is different. You intelligent men and women of Israel, what you got to do now is you got to go and get Isidore of Seville's chronology. You got to go get his book called The Chronicon. All right. And if you're watching on my screen, I don't know if the screen share is available. This is the Chronicon book right here. Look at this. First age of the world, second age of the world, third age of the world, fourth age of the world, fifth age of the world, sixth age of the world. Who was Isidore? Isidore was known as the antiquitous internet. He was known as the internet of the Middle Ages because he answered all the questions. These are who I like to kick it with. Flavius Josephus, Isidore, Eusebius. When you get to Genesis chapter 10, I'm gonna put this link in here, and this is for YirmeYah, for everybody else. All right. Now this link, don't beat me up, everybody, but this link is basically the KJV version of Isidore's Chronicon. Okay. Here's the link right here. All right. I think I put it in me and YirmeYah's back chat, so I don't know if you all will be able to see it like that, but he should be able to share it. Point of saying such as say Isidore of Seville's Chronicon. All right. This is the King, not the King James, but the NIV version. And as you read it, you're going to read about not only the forefathers from the Israelites, but you're going to read about the forefathers of the Gentiles. Why? Because Isidore wasn't just doing the Israelite history. He was doing the history of the world. He was showing you who was ruling the world during the time frame of the Egyptians. Who was ruling the world? It wasn't just the Egyptians ruled the world and the Israelites didn't exist. Isidore actually teaches you where we were, what we were doing while each nation was ruling. And it's so amazing. And if any of you that's smarter than me will just pick it up, you can take this information so much further. I'm only supposed to introduce it to you. All right. Now I'm going to read one section of this just so you can see, but then I'm going to yield the floor because Elder YirmeYah, this is his blessed time frame. He's sharing it with me.
No, it's off on the spirit. I got the link. No, it's off on the spirit. I got the link in the chat.
Thank you, Elder.
So share it out to the people, man. Y'all follow along.
All right.
So share it out to the people, man. Y'all follow along with us.
Amen. Amen. All right. So watch this. If you all can see the screen, this is in the third age of the world, which leads to ask the question, what happened during the first and the second? All you got to do is go a couple chapters up, and all of this precepts with the book of Genesis, chapter 10, the table of nations. Okay. All of this precepts. Okay. So we're going to skip down. See right here, verse 12. It says, Terah at the age of 70 bore Abraham at the same time. You see how Isidore did it? So he starts off with the Hebrew culture. Look, at the same time, what? Ninus ruled as king of Assyrians. That blew my mind. At Terah, at the age of 70, bore Abraham. So Abraham's father, Terah, was 70 years old when Abraham was born, but there was a king named Ninus, which I went and researched. He's older than Abraham. When I started talking about Trismos Megistus and
he's older than Torah.
Yes, sir. When we started speaking about that, yes, sir. A lot of people didn't comprehend and understand because we're all looking at the same coloring book. We're all looking at the same coloring book. But you got certain people in the class like YirmeYah, like myself, like maybe even you. Some of us will turn to the index of the coloring book. Some of us will go to the teacher's desk and say, who wrote this coloring book? See, that's what I do. I want to go and find out the details to help validate the truth of God's word. And here is another historian who does so. So as you see the way he writes, he teaches you about the Israelite chronology, and then he teaches about what the Gentiles were doing around the world at the same time. And if that's no big deal to you, then it ain't. You don't got it yet. But once you get, you'll understand why.
Powerful in the spirit.
Amen. He was the first to institute wars and invented the instruments of weaponry. And this age of art and magic was discovered in Persia by Zoroaster. I won't go too deep. I'm sorry, I won't go too deep.
That's a religious cult. Zoroastrianism.
I won't go too deep, But I will say this: as I started studying, the more I started to see more. So I want to encourage you to learn and study, see more. Everybody that's watching, please.
Yeah, and I want
Zoroaster, which was a real person.
I want to
the king of the Bactrians.
I want to
right.
Say this real quick, Radazaya. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
All right, Zoroaster. How you say it?
Zoroaster.
Yeah, Zoroaster is the religion. Zoroaster is the religion of King Cyrus. King Cyrus. All right. Do me a favor, real quick. Get another Google screen. And Google the religion of King Cyrus. King Cyrus.
King Cyrus. Cyrus. There we go. All right. What do we want to do from here, Saint?
Religion.
Uh-oh, you're breaking up, going in and out.
The King Cyrus religion. King Cyrus religion.
Okay. King Cyrus religion. All right. All right. King Cyrus religion. And we have, this is a real quick, brief AI overview. It says King Cyrus was most likely a follower of Zoroastrianism based on historical evidence and speculation about his policies, particularly his respectful treatment for other religions. Some historians also note that he showed great respect for the diverse beliefs of people in his empire, Zoroastrianism. While there is no definitive contemporary record, historians often include that Cyrus was Zoroastrian. This is suggested by the reign occurring during the religion's dominance in Persian society, and the possibility of him feeling kinship with the Jewish people. He freed from Babylonian captivity due to shared religious roots. And
all right,
YirmeYah,
I want to
ballpark out with that one, brother. You killed that one.
Yeah, that was hard, right? That was hard, right? I mean,
that's hard. You killed that one. Yeah. You open the floodgates with that one, man.
So I'm going to be interested in reading about that because Cyrus came out maybe 1,000 years after this.
And we have to remember too, like what did Cyrus do for the children of Israel? What did he do for us? You know, that's a great point, man. But I don't want to cut you off, Elder. What I want to do is encourage for everybody, finish reading if you can. I shared the link in here. You can look up early church fathers or Tertullian.org fathers and go to the section fathers and go to Isidore. And when you get to Isidore, you'll find out, pertaining to his book, Chronicon, if you want to precept the book, and even if you can't listen to it, if you can't read it right now, you can listen to it. In your downtime, you can listen to it and find out how much more. This is why we study the Torah day in, day out, all right? We meditate on the word because there's so much to find out. I'm going to finish this point if it's okay. It says he was killed by King Ninus. Also, the walls of Babylon were built by the Samaritans, queen of the Assyrians, from the flood. Now, check this out. From the flood to the birth of Abraham, 942 years. The second age has come to an end, 3,184. Oh, I wish that there was somebody more intelligent and smarter than me that would take this information and bless the Israelites and go further. I wish, because I've read this. I don't know. I listen to this. This is my fun time. I play video games and I go through scriptures, right? And push-ups. That's my new thing. I do push-ups. I'm a push-up fanatic now, right? I need to work on my core. Point of saying such as to say, the information that's here takes our Bible and it makes our Bible even more illuminated. And it's not like this is a Gentile who didn't believe in Yahweh. All right. Isidore, bishop of OKC. Isidore, the bishop of Oklahoma City. Right. YirmeYah, the bishop of Seville, the bishop of wherever you live. Isidore, the bishop of Oklahoma City, was a studious man. He was bishop of Seville, but I just use OKC so everybody can be relative. Like his name wasn't hard. He was just the elder of Oklahoma City. He was the elder of Seville. But he was so beautiful and knowledgeable that he was actually referred to as the modern time internet. He's referred to as the modern time internet, by those that's familiar with the internet, because his care for wisdom was so beautiful. My last point, Isaac at the age of 60 bore twins, whose first was Esau, from whom came the Edomites. The second, Jacob, who born the cognomen Israel, after whom the Israelites were named. And this time the kingdom of the Greeks reigned. And what? Antiochus was the first to rule. I know Negroes didn't know that. I know for a fact they didn't know that. But you can learn it and you can apply it and then take this lesson to the next level. I yield the floor. The whole point of coming here was to say, everybody learn the table of nations. You can learn the nations of the world. And then after that, you take that and you say, well, who are these people? And well, you have resources. We have references for you. We're not here just to tell you. We're here to show you. All right. And with that, the water for your time, I yield the floor.
Khan. All praise and glory, man. Let's get back to the Torah. We are in Genesis 9.
Book of Genesis, chapter 9.
Yeah, we're in Genesis 9, 9 and
verse,
5. 9 and
verse
5.
5? Come.
Yeah.
Genesis chapter 9, verse 5. Ma?
Come on.
Come.
And surely your blood of your lives will
your
I require.
Lives. I'm sorry. Let me read, Elder man. I'm calling on fire, man. You do the edification, please. Can I read?
Yeah, sir.
The water. Genesis chapter 9, verse 5. And surely your blood of your life.
Look like the brothers in the frozen worlds. All right. So we're just going to pick up till the brother get back. Who sheddeth man's blood? Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. These are laws that are being instituted on the earth. For in the image of God made he man. And you be ye fruitful, and you be ye fruitful and multiply, bringing forth abundance in the earth and multiplying therein. And Yahweh spake unto Noah and his sons with him, saying, and I, behold, I establish my covenant with you and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is within you, of the fowls, of the cattle, and of every beast. Salakia, are you back up?
Con.
All right.
All right. Genesis chapter 9, verse 10. And of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. Genesis chapter 9, verse 11. I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by waters of the flood. Neither shall there be any more flood to destroy the earth. Verse 12. Wa Allah Amar, and God said, this is the token which the covenant, token of the covenant which I make between me and you, and every living thing that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the clouds. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. Man, that just made me break down lightweight, man. Because
man, see that's and this is where you get the your so-called rainbow. See, I wouldn't mind looking that up in the Hebrew real quick. Let me look this up.
Yes, sir. And something that just is so beautiful is Hamashiach, the Most High. Let's say Most High, man. Allah Hayab. He loves us so much that, as we see in the court in the scriptures, his courts, his quarters, like you go to the court of the Lord. When you go to his courts, as been documented in scriptures, that rainbow is in his element. That rainbow is in the floor. That rainbow is over his throne. So for him to take a piece of that and say, here y'all go. Here y'all go. You know,
yeah, that's facts.
Come on, man. Come on. Because even we just read, it said he thought within himself that he would never, you know what I'm saying, destroy all flesh. Within himself, he thought that. After he smelled Noah's sacrifice. Ain't like he busted out Noah. Like, hey, no, I had a second idea. Nah, the way our legislator, Moses, the way he gave it to us, was that the Most High considered within himself after he destroyed everything. That's compassion. I'm not going to do that again. Let me give y'all a gift. And I've done that. I pop my Benathion darters. I pop my Benathion on their legs. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to touch that. And then afterward, come back and rub their legs and kiss them and talk to them and lay with them until they go to sleep and give them a gift. You know, I've done that. You know what I'm saying? But as a father, Yahweh, giving us a portion of the rainbow, and the rainbow is in his heavenly quarters. That's phenomenal. What is man that God? What is man that God, that the Most High should consider us? So I yield the floor on that point. I really apologize. Thank you. You gave me the solo screen. I didn't mean to go too far on that, but just the beauty and the glory of that is when we go to the scriptures, we do see that in the courts of the Most High, he has the rainbows. It's in the floor. It's in his floor. It's over his head. And then after he destroy everything, and say, here's a reminder. I love you. And it's something beautiful too. He could have did anything. Most High could have made us allergic to water. He could have been like me. Sometimes I'm like, you know what, that's bogus. So since you did that, you know what, never mind. But the Most High is so loving that instead of smiting us with something worse, the Most High gave us favor. He gave us grace, and he gave us mercy, and he gave us a beautiful view. Even if we're in an area where it's not raining at, even if you're driving somewhere, you're just in a mountain area, and it's just a lot of green and clearing. Shalom, light warrior. Blessings, my beloved sisters. Hallelujah, hallelujah, shalom. Even if you're in an area like that, a rainbow can strike so much awe and inspiration that while you driving, you can stop. You can stop. Oh, there's a rainbow. Stop, pull over, look at. I don't care what's going on. When you see that rainbow, and it's one of them really nice ones,
every time, bro. Every time. Every time it's in the sky, everybody be like, hey, you see that? Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing, man.
A reminder of his mercy and his grace, and not of me being a sodomite, not of my sister being a sodomite, not of the stinky smell of defecation and sexual organs mixing, not of the pollution of children being molested, but of the all inspiration of Yahweh's mercy, that feeling of seeing it and being like, oh, wow. That's a reminder that he didn't kill you or the rest of the world. That's what that rainbow is. It's a reminder of his grace, his mercy, not killing us, not of the abominations of what the satanic world would like to make the righteous rainbow into. All right. I yield the floor. The water out of one. Thank you.
Right. Come, all praise and glory. So maybe you can give us the paleo pronunciation for this, but it says here,
Strong's H 7198. Kesheth.
Keshith.
Well,
Keshith.
it'll be two pronunciations, which will just be two syllables, three syllables: kwa, sha, and tha. Kwashath, kwashath. So kesheth is very good. And for everybody who's learning modern Hebrew, I encourage you, please learn modern Hebrew. You should. If you're an Israelite of the bloodline of the 12 tribes, you are mandated. You have to learn Paleo Hebrew, because you can learn modern, but that Paleo is going to stick to your spirit. It's going to stick to your soul. So kwashath are the three characters as there. You have the kwap, the shin, which is the sharp teeth, and then the fa, the last character, is the X marks the spot. All right. So the symbol of stability, shovel, sharp teeth, and that's it. All right. The fa, that's it. So kwashath is the word that's there. Kwashath.
Con, the water, man. Yeah, so I definitely got to get back in my Hebrew class. But this is it says here, it says ark.
I can see that.
Look at the what is the root word in original sense of bending.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so we go here, it says what? Ark, arcs, right? Bow. It says bow for hunting. The way the shape of the bow, the way it looks, is what you're going to see in reference to what it's speaking about, what you would see in the sky. You know, of course, the fourth one is rainbow, right? Or bowman, archer, bow. If all these things are similar in shape, and this is what it's in reference to and what you would see in the sky, man. So all praise and glory, brother. I appreciate that sincerely.
Can we go down one more? Go down one more, please, to Jacinius Hebrew Chaldean Lexicon, please. All right, Kwashath, Thwarak, Kwashath, and then that's Kwashath Wath. Kwashath, and the second one is plural Kwashath Wath. So that's Kwashath by itself. And then that PL with the period, yes, sir, that's the Shah. And the last, yes, sir, that's the sharp teeth, the Shah. That's the Quap, that's QA. And that last character that YirmeYah is pointing out is THA. That's Fa. So the first character is QA. Yes, sir. The second character is SHA, Shah. Great job. Thank you, sir. And that last character is Fa, THA. So Kwashath is the pronunciation of this. If we look over, it says PL, and it has a period. It says, yeah, excellent. So, yes, sir. And what that's showing you is what Kwashath would be if it was plural. Now, notice, everybody, on the Kwashath, there's only two more characters that's there. That's the Fa and Fa, the Y and Fa. So it's Kwashawath. Kwashawath. Yeah. Great job, man. All right. So let's see. Common, 2 Samuel.
This
Sir?
T, explain this T here too. I remember this in Hebrew class.
Yeah, so we have these things, and we as Israelites, as being the 12 tribes and speaking the Paleo Hebrew, Abba, Gada, Hawaza, Ha, Tayakalamana, Sa'i, Patzakwara, Shata. These are only the 22 sounds of our perfectly undefiled language. When the European nation came into play, they couldn't pronounce our language, which is so funny because our talk is baby talk. Our talk is Abba, Gada, Hawaza, Ha, Tayakalamana, Sa'i, Patzakwara, Shata. That's all baby sounds. When the European nation came into play, that little T looks like a little T, right? That little T is actually called a nikud, and there's two dots that's next to it. Yes, sir. Can you go to the one that has the 3 dots also in the Hebrew? Yes, sir. Right up under the quap and the kwashath. Yep. Yes, sir. Those 3 punctuations that YirmeYah just pointed out to everybody are called nikuds. The European nation who call themselves Jews and are not, but do lie, that nation speaks with a completely different dialect. It's a Slavic dialect. They speak with the Eastern European dialect. So these are vowel points markers to teach them how to pronounce our sounds in their tongue. So we would say kwashath, wath, or we would say right here kwashath, right? Where YirmeYah has his, where he has his marker at, right? But where these two nikuds, Nikuds, where these two nikuds are, are again called mother's helpers. Mother's helpers, because it teaches other people how to pronounce our Hebrew tongue in their dialect. Those are their A-E-I-O-U's and sometimes Y vowel points. These vowel points are the reasons why so many Israelites pronounce words. Thank you, sir. Excellent. Right up under that shin, right up under that shop. These vowel points are why so many Israelites pronounce words incorrectly, because they're going off of Amalek, Esau, the Europeans' pronunciation of their vowel points, instead of just dropping those vowel points and pronouncing the Hebrew as it's been written without any perversions or without any pollutions.
And they will argue you down like it's something wrong with you. Like, you know, what we're speaking is an older form. It's older. Mm-hmm. So anything you always try to go when you're studying, you try to go to the oldest form of it, and that's going to get you closer to the original. You understand? So if something has a translation.
Hey, YirmeYah, you're going in and out, Ak. You're going in and out, brother. Hey, Sean, I want to tell everybody still on the phone call. Thank you for being patient. I'm holding the phone into my headphones. You're going in and out, sir. Yes, sir. You're back now. You're steady now.
All right. So, you know, you always want to kind of go to the older form of things. So this was my personal journey. As I first initially came into the truth, I was taught that the Most High's name was simply Yah, and the Son's name was Yehoshua, right? Initially. And as I continued to study and try to become a little bit more efficient in Hebrew, I started to, you know, even with the greeting, shalom, 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 shalom. It just don't sit right in my spirit.
Right. It don't got no salt to it. It don't got no flavor. Yeah. All right.
You know what I'm saying? But and shout out to Elder Priest Dawam. He taught me this in 2012. I was in Puerto Rico, and I was blessed enough to talk to him on the phone. And I was talking with him, and I was like, shalom. And he was like, that's not quite right. So I was like, oh, yeah, I know what you're talking. I try to cut him off, Karatazar. I try to cut him like, oh, yeah, I know what you mean. You mean Shalom. That's what I did, bro. And he was like, nah, bro, it's Shalom. Oh, okay. It just hit different, bro. You know? And there are brothers right now that try to demonize us. Oh, you know, you them Shalom brothers. You know, as if we're supposed to feel bad by being holy, which means to be separate from our oppressor. Our oppressors say, shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm watching a TV series right now called The Chosen. And I'm going to do a review on it coming soon. It is one of the best versions of the story of Mashiach Yahushua done by heathens that I have ever seen in regards to no Jesus story in the movie form had so much Jewish culture in it. They had the Zeets. They were keeping Shabbat. They were keeping dietary law. All this was in it. And they showed Hamashiach Yahushua, who they're calling Jesus in this show, him participating in these events. And they were showing more of a cultural dynamic to the story of Jesus. And I encourage any of you brothers and sisters, if you get an opportunity to check that series out. I believe they're in season up to season 5 right now. They have a season 6 coming in like 2 years. 2027 is the next one coming out. So it was amazing just to see some of our Hebraic culture even though it's bastardized, it was still a breath of fresh air, as it gave you more of a cultural sense of the story of Jesus versus what we've been used to with no, like even they did the story when the woman that was on a menstrual cycle for 12 years and she touched the hem of a Mashiach Yahushua garment. She touched his fringes, bro, in the show. It just was.
Oh wow, hey, that's deep. That's deep,
Yeah.
because you wouldn't see that. That's deep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, it was just a breath of fresh air to see Hebraic culture in the story of Jesus as never seen before.
Right.
So I encourage you all to go check it out.
That.
It's called The Chosen.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Can you share my screen real quick?
Yes, sir. Someone says here.
Is this it?
Yeah. Someone says here, because we as Negroes have learned the ways and methods of speaking as our captives. That's why I don't criticize anyone. I've learned wisdom.
Okay, come on.
Well,
because we as Negroes have learned the ways and methods of speaking as our captives. That's why I don't criticize anyone. I've learned wisdom. That's very good of you, Light Warrior. Amen. I don't have anything for that, YirmeYah. I'm just.
Yeah, my whole thing is we have to teach, though. We have to teach, and there's nothing wrong with challenging brothers that's shaloming you to death every day to say, hey man, how about we start to try to adopt? It's such a attack on Lashawan Quadash because of the camp hate that's out there. So much camp hate, and this Lashawan Quadash, what they're trying to separate from ancient paleo, is for me as a culturalist, I'm going to adopt what is permeating from our culture, right? But you got your screen?
Yes, sir. This is really quick just to show everybody. All right. Key points with the Nakud. All right. The Nakuds are the vowels that Elder YirmeYah was bringing out, right? So key points with the Nakuds. Function. Its primary role is to convey the correct punctuation of words, especially since most modern Hebrew. Now look at this. Especially since most modern Hebrew, whenever you see the phrase modern Hebrew, that automatically lets you know that it's the newish characters that the Jewish people use, opposed to the Lashawan Quadash, which is the Paleo Hebrew. If you see the phrase modern Hebrew or biblical Hebrew, it's always primarily referring to that the new style of Hebrew, right? So those two phrases, modern Hebrew and biblical Hebrew, right? And they don't call it biblical Hebrew, but it's really ancient Hebrew. It's actually Paleo Hebrew, right? But it says modern styles writing omits these vowels, omits these vowel markings, right? Why? Because most people who actually read Hebrew, you're familiar with the word, so you don't really need the Nakud. All right, the Nakuds, they're helpers. All right, Nakud signs are ancillary glyphs, dots and lines, positioned relative to the consonants. Historical context: while original Hebrew was consonantal. So in other words, original Hebrew was primarily consonants, not a continent. A continent is what you live on. Consonants are sounds. A, E, I, O, U, sometimes Y are vowels, but those dull sounds are those consonants, which are the sounds that babies make. It doesn't take a lot of effort to say Abba, 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 Daddy, Daddy, Father, Father, Father. I have to form my tongue to pronounce the TH and the ER in Father. Or it could be Abba, 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 Mama, Amma, Amma, Khan, La'a, Basadar, Basadar, Anya La'a Yadai, Anya La'a Yadai. All of these consonantal, all right, consonantal, consonantal. Somebody help me with that. All of these consonant sounds are so easy to pronounce. And with the nakuds or the vowel points, it makes our language not only more confusing, but it mixes up the, it muddies the waters. Now, salute to those people who grew up speaking modern Hebrew and knowing it. That's excellent. Use that skill to teach others. If you didn't, I encourage you to step into the paleo right now. It's only 22 alphabets. Contact YirmeYah, 22 characters. There's only 22 sounds. Contact YirmeYah. There's 26 in the English alphabet. So us speaking English perfectly and backwards with more letters than there are Hebrew characters only shows our laziness. Once I seen, I was like, that's it. I wrote all day. Until I can get it down so good, that if I ever needed to, I would be able to say it in my sleep. I want to get it down so good that when I finally came to reading the Hebrew, I'll be able to say, can't nobody lie to me now, because I can read it for myself. But let's get back to this. This is the European version of our vowels, of our words. All right, examples. All right, you have the sagal, right? And it has a word that's there in Hebrew, and it's sagawal. Sagawal is how it's sagawal. That's what those sagawal, yeah. That's what those characters are in Hebrew. It says 3 dots forming an upside down triangle representing a vowel E. So whenever we see that, like YirmeYah was pointing them out, please say the Yah. All right, please say the Yah. So like he was pointing out earlier, one of them had 3 dots, 3 triangle, like upside down, you know what I'm saying? Like boom, 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 right? Well, whenever you see that, they're trying to tell you in their language, we oh so desperately want to say, our pronunciation. We want to say it so bad. But in our language, we got to say it like this. So it's literally their markers to tell them how to speak on another culture's language. How do you do that? We don't go to China and say, wait a minute, that's not pronounced Shonghui. That's not Hui. Wait, that's not Shengyu. You know what Shengyu is? A Shengyu is an old woman that's not desirable. A Shengyu, women older than Shang Tsung. Shengyu. This woman older than Shang Su, walk banging tools. Listen, a Shengyu, we can't go to China and say that. That's incorrect. You got to say Shengyu. You got to say Shawagan, Nawa. And you got to put your vowel point. You know how wicked of a nation you got to be to go into another people's land, hijack everything, including their language, and then say, you don't pronounce it like that. You don't pronounce it like that. You pronounce it like us. You pronounce it like this. See? So this is why I myself, along with many other Israelites, we don't participate in the pronunciation of the, and you have some they'll, and I feel you, saying you've learned, you become more experienced, and I respect you on that, saying, but say for example, in the scriptures, when there was a civil war and we had the brothers to say Shibboleth. If you couldn't pronounce Shibboleth, you had a problem. It means we knew that you wasn't of us. So instead of them learning how to pronounce our language, they just hijacked our whole language and put their sounds on it. Ain't that something? I yield the floor. YirmeYah.
Well, she was right on time with that Abba, Abba.
Boy.
Abba. Right? All praise and glory.
In the spirit, man. Torah. Amen.
Praise and glory, man.
Yeah,
so it's such a wealth of information, man. I don't know what's going on with right trust. So you're asking a question off topic, by the way, right? So I'm going to entertain you for a moment, right? Is marriage of other races wrong? In polygyny, it is. I mean, in monogamy, it is. It's wrong in monogamy. Why is it wrong in monogamy? Because you're never going to take a wife of your own nation. in monogamy. You can only have one wife, right? So whether polygyny is right or wrong, that's not the point. The point is, in monogamy, you only have one wife. So if you're marrying, your one wife that you get to marry is of another nation, you are publicizing to the world a certain disdain for your own self, a certain disdain for your mother. You didn't want to marry someone that looks like your mother. You wanted to marry a woman from another nation. So it's a representation of self-hate, right? In polygyny, that's something different, right? Because you will have more than one wife. That's all I'm going to say on that. I'm not going to get in a polygynous argument with you Negroes, all right? But in monogamy, to only marry a woman, the only one wife that you get is of another nation, is a representation of self-hate. Plus, if you die or something happens to you, whatever you have accumulated wealth-wise on the earth does not go back to help your people, does not go back to your people. It goes to another nation. Look at the athletes on the earth, right? They're marrying these women. I think the brother from the Miami Dolphins, the wide receiver, wife married him for a grand total of 11 months. Now she gets $500,000, $500 million, somewhere in that ballpark, right? Some millions of this man's earned wealth. And she's only married to him 11 months. Then she takes that money and takes it back to her people, benefits their people. She then helps whoever she helps with the money and does whatever she does with the money. So, yeah, I believe marrying the other nations is wrong in monogamy. All right, Karat, you want to say anything on that?
Say so much, but I don't believe I'm in the ability to anymore. If the Most High allows me to, then I'll go in as much as I can. What was the question? Is it a sin? What was the question?
Marrying, it says, is
marrying the other races wrong? All right. So as the elder was bringing out in the book of Tobit, all right, in the book of Tobit, I believe it's 7:12, possibly. If we marry another nation and take them as our wife, then it actually shows that we hate our own, which is, I believe that's why he was saying in a monogamous situation. All right. The Most High never told us that we could not take all of the Gentiles for wives, or excuse me, as I use the word wife loosely in this sense. All right. The word wife actually means woman. All right. It could also mean in a softened sense of bitch, just by definition, wife. But your rib, all right. I know it might sound different, but your rib, say like, for example, Abraham. Abraham was married to Sarah. Abraham's rib was Sarah, but his wife was Hagar, right? And his wife, Hagar, was from another nation, right?
That's powerful.
Now, did
right
Abraham
there.
love and
Powerful
cherish
point.
Hagar more than Sarah? Absolutely not. When it was time for Sarah to go, Abraham said, that's your woman. That's your servant. Do what you got to do. Oh, the baby? Oh, yeah, the baby can go too. Yeah, I love little Ishmael, but nah, Jacob and Sarah's my possessions. So let's use another example. Deuteronomy chapter 7. In Deuteronomy chapter 7, we see the list of the 7 nations that the Most High never gave us permission to marry. He actually told us to put them to death, right? And if we don't put them to death, then eventually they become a snare to us. So we didn't put those 7 nations to death. These are who the Most High told us to not marry at all. One second. Yes, may I please finish my sentence? Yeah. Thank you so much. May I have a hug, Baba Kusha, while I wait? Yes. Can I have a hug while we wait for me to finish my sentence? Yeah. Okay. So can I commence that hug with you now? Yeah.
No hug for you,
start
bro.
Hugging me first, or you want me to start hugging you first?
No hug for you.
Worlds. Okay. So when we look at Deuteronomy chapter 7, we see who the Most High told us not to marry. But then when you go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter, Then we go to Deuteronomy chapter 24, going into 25. Which one is that when if you go to war and you find a maiden that is beautiful, not betrothed, that we might take her?
21.
Right? And we give her a year. We give her a month. Excuse me, not a year. We give her a month to mourn her father and her mother. That family had to not be a part of the 7 nations of the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, the Amorites, and the Hivites. It's like 2 more. So, no. And as much as I would like to be like, because I used to go in, I'd be like, hell no, woo, Gentiles, woo. But the reality it just doesn't say that. There's parameters of marriage. There's parameters of who we take and can take for a wife, and who we can and cannot take for a wife. All right. But above all, your primo, your rib, your first rib should be of your own stock, of your own bloodline. All right. Should be an Israelite. All right. So again, I yield the floor on this. Deuteronomy chapter 7 specifically tells us who not to marry. All right. When we go to war, if we find a maiden, and somebody might say, well, we're not in war. Yes, we are. We in war right now. We exiles. We're prisoners of war. Oh, well, you ain't in war like with Moses. Hey, man, shut up. Maybe you not. But our nation is at war right now. We get murdered anytime. We ain't in our land. We in our land. Yeah, we at war. So person might take that, person might not. The point is, when we are in a time of war, if you find a beautiful maiden that you would like to make your wife, and these are the parameters that the Most High says to do. All right, we go to the book of Tobit. The Most High tells us.
Hold on a second. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't want to get into no polygynous. We're finna go back to the Torah. That's what we're finna do.
That's all right. Let me see what they said though. Let me see what they said though. All right, to piggyback, which we don't piggy anything. We lammy back around here, homie. We don't piggyback nothing. All right, no, not saying. Just pick up that phrase. We lammy back. I ain't picking nothing. All right, let me back. Right trust. All right. Is there any man willing to be one of many husbands to one wife? It goes to heart and man. You see, all right. Yeah, perfect. Well, Adam E. Yeah, I judge. No, man. Okay. So, okay. Heard your comment. Thank you for your comment. According to the Bible, here's your answers. Right. So your answer is, I believe, Tobit 7, start at 12. We're told to chiefly marry one from our own nationality to show that we do not hate our own. All right. Deuteronomy 7 is a list of who we're not to marry. All right. And then the Most High gives us parameters of when we go into the land, if we find a maiden that's a beautiful maiden, that's a Gentile. If we're at war, you know what I'm saying? Then she's to cut her hair, she's to pare her nails, and she's to mourn for at least a month for the loss of her parents, but we don't kill their parents. But but the Most High is not against us having them for wives. So I haven't seen to where it's illegal to have East Indians. I don't mind going into it. I don't mind at all.
I mean, but my whole thing is,
I know YirmeYah, he's on it.
My whole thing is the perfect model was Adam and Eve. Yet the chosen seed line was Jacob, who had 4 wives. There would be no Israelites on planet Earth. The chosen people of God. The chosen people of God. Right? The chosen people of God did not have a perfect model of marriage, huh? Come on, man. Let's just stop the madness, please. I don't want to have this discussion at all. Because you guys
wait. It looked like they was asking the question: is there any one man that's willing to be a wife of any one husband? It looks like that's what they're asking, right? I'm sorry, YirmeYah, man. This is fun, man. This is fun, man. You know what I'm saying? Is there any man willing to be one of many husbands to one wife? Now, help me understand that question. Are they asking, is there anybody that's willing to be a monogamous husband? Is that what they're asking? It goes to heart of humanity, deceitful heart. Yeah. All right. It goes to heart of humanity. Yeah. See.
I guess he was asking a question, but the thing is that that's not how polygyny works. It's not many husbands and one wife. That's not polygyny. All right.
Is there any man willing to be one of many husbands to? Okay, so there's many husbands, right? So there's many husbands. Is out of all these many husbands, is there any one husband willing to be a wife to any one man? Is that what they're asking? It sounds
No,
like.
bro. No. That's
Okay.
not what he's asking, bro. He's asking, is any man willing to be one of many husbands to one wife? All right. So yeah, I'm done with that, man. Listen, I could care less about you guys' opinion concerning polygyny. Have your opinion. It makes me know never mind. All right.
Well, I want to see. They might not. You know what I'm saying?
Karat. It ain't nothing to be
I'm
seen.
optimistic. I'm optimistic. I'll be like, hey,
We're going back to the Torah, man. We ain't even halfway done, bro.
That's true. And the sun is going down. You know what? Thank you for that. And thank you for, but wait, let me say this though. Thank you for asking your question. And thank you for presenting it. You know what I'm saying? That's real. You know what I'm saying? I would love to ponder and think about that and come back to that. All right. I yield the floor. The water. So that's it on vowel points and the kawads and the clues. All right. You got so many muscles. You're so muscular. Why are you so buff? Let me see your muscle. Why are you so buff? Let me see your muscle. Let me see your muscle. You want some? No. Okay. Well, I think it'd be best if I muted up for this time frame, Mark. I think I started to turn up too much and I ended up waking her up, man. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Yeah, I need a wife in the house to take care of these children. Yeah, that's the answer. There needs to be a woman in the house to take care of these children so I can be a man and minister. The scripture says in Acts chapter 6, it says, shall we leave the word of God that we may serve tables? I got to serve tables. Lay blood.
All right, man. So we're gonna pick up the remainder of the Torah.
Yeah, my bad. It needs to be a woman taking care.
We're gonna pick up the remainder of this. It's just so much wealth of information. I want to educate you brothers and sisters to the best of our ability, right? And we truly thank you for standing with us. As we go into Genesis chapter 10, 9, we're going to finish 9, going into Genesis 10 and 11. Powerful information, so I encourage you all to stick with us. We're going to pick this thing back up tomorrow at this same time. All right. So with that being said, peace and blessings, family. Shalom Lakum.
All different type of information every week. Let me speak. If you subscribe, we're going deep. Love talk, Sister E. God's work, Sister E. Charity, Sister E. Let's talk with Sister E.